Hello friends, welcome to our today's session. In our today's session, we will be discussing Apopo principle, Pauli's exclusion principle, along with the Hund's rule, which are necessary to specify the electronic configuration of a given element. Now, first of all, we will discuss what is electron configuration. Electron configuration is nothing but how the electrons are arranged in an atom. Okay, so it is a distribution of electron in an atom. Now, for every neutral atom, it consists of certain number of electrons. What are these electrons? These number of electrons are nothing but this we call it as an atomic number, which is also equal to the number of proton inside the atom or inside the nucleus. Precise distribution of electron inside an atom plays important role in governing the properties of that atom or in a molecule. So this electron configuration is important when we need to decide the physical properties or chemical properties of the material. Now we know that we derived certain restrictions with the help of Schrodinger equation when it is solved for an hydrogen atom. We know that for hydrogen atom we had a 3 degrees of freedom, and depending upon those 3 degrees of freedom we got 3 restrictions in terms of quantum numbers. So these quantum numbers are important while describing the electronic configuration of an element. So what are these different kinds of quantum numbers? The first quantum number is that is called as the principal quantum number, which is denoted by letter n. Second quantum number is it is called as orbital quantum number, which is denoted by the letter L. Third quantum number, that is magnetic quantum number, which is denoted by Ml. And in addition to this one more quantum number is there, that is nothing but it is called as the spin quantum number, which has some different origin, which you can learn from the Stern-Gerlach experiment, which we will discuss in the our coming slides, or we'll be discussing this in the our coming lectures. Now, what are the restrictions which were imposed on these quantum numbers? These are nothing but n can take values from 1, 2, 3 and so on. So these are the values limited for the n, and based on that one you have a different values of L, which can take values from 0 to n minus 1, and the magnetic quantum number, that is called as a ML, which can take values from minus L to plus L including 0. So based on this one we had calculated the different number of magnitude orbital quantum numbers. So these quantum numbers, it has been given over here for the n equal to 1, which we call it as an K shell. For K shell, L is equal to 0, and L is equal to 0 corresponds to the s orbital. So the notation for this subshell, it is a 1s, and corresponding value of ml, which can goes from minus L to plus L including 0. As for a given value of L equal to 0, you can have only single value of ml, that is ml equal to 0. And now we know that for a given subshell, spin quantum number can have two different duration, that is plus half and minus half. So it can occupy 2 electrons. So number of electrons in a first orbit, that is nothing but the 2. Similarly, if you go for the second shell, that is L shell, for n equal to 2, you have two values of L, that is n equal to 0 and n equal to 1. So depending upon that, you have a subshells, that is 2s and 2p. So for L equal to 1, you can have ml equal to minus 1 to plus 1 including 0. So you have a three different values of ml depending on the for a given value of L. So this p orbital, which we call it as a 2p orbital, it has three suborbitals, that is 2px, 2py and 2pz. Now we know that each orbital can occupy 2 electrons. So these 2 electrons into 3 substrates, so it will be totally 6 electrons. And s orbital for L is equal to 0, it can have 2 electrons, so it is 2. So 2 plus 6, it will be totally 8 electrons. If you similarly calculate for the n equal to 3, that is m shell, you can have values of L to be 0, 1 and 2. Corresponding orbitals will be 3s, 3p and 3d. And corresponding value of ml will be 0, minus 1 to plus 1 including 0. And for L equal to 2, that is 3d orbital, you have minus 2 to plus 2 including 0. So that is totally 5 suborbitals will be there for L equal to 2. That is, in case of third subshell, there will be 3 suborbitals will be there, which are nothing but 3s, 3p and 3d, in which 3p has 3 different orbitals, suborbitals, that is px, py and pz, and d orbital can have 5 different ml values corresponding to different 5 d suborbitals, which are nothing but dxy, dyz and dxz, dx square minus y square and d r square minus z square. These will be the 5 sub d orbitals. Now each can occupy each orbital can have 2 sub states. So as for d orbital, there are 5 suborbitals are there, so 5 2s are 10. For p, there will be 3 substates, so 3 2s are 6. And for s equal to 0, for s orbital, that is L equal to 0, you have only 2 electrons. So if you calculate total, it will be 2 plus 6, it will be 8, 8 plus 10, it will be 18 electrons will be there in case of a third shell. If you similarly calculate for the n, which will have values of L from 0, 1, 2 and 3. So total 4 suborbitals will be there, and these 4 suborbitals are nothing but 4s, 4p, 4d and 4f. These orbitals you can write down as an S, P, D, F. According for these you have different values of ml. For P it will be minus L2 plus L, so it is minus 1 2 plus 1 including 0. For d orbital it will be minus 2 2 plus 2 including 0, and for f orbital it will be minus 3 2 plus 3 including 0. So it will be totally 7 suborbitals will be there. 7 2s are 14, so 14 electrons can be accommodated in the f subshell, and 10 electrons in d subshell, 6 electrons in p subshell and 2 electrons in S subshell. So if you add all these in number of electrons, it will be total 32 electrons which can be accommodated in the 4 subshell. Now in these orbitals, how electrons are arranged, that we will try to understand now. In these orbitals, electrons are arranged with the help of certain rules, okay, and those rules we'll be discussing now. What are these rules? The first rule is that is called as the Apopo principle. Second rule, it is called as the Pauli's exclusion principle, and third rule, it is called as the Hund's rule. So these are the 3 different rules are there which governs how electrons will be arranged in case of an given atom. Okay, so let us start by discussing each rule separately. So let us start with the first rule, that is nothing but the Apopo principle, which states that in a ground state of an atom, the electron occupy atomic orbital in their order of increasing energy. So it means the first orbital which have lesser energy, it will be filled, then next orbital which will have higher energy, it will be filled, and the next higher energy orbital, it will be filled. In this fashion the electrons will be allowed in the given orbit. Now how this energy of this orbitals it will be decided? It will be decided by the n plus L rule. It will be decided by the n plus L rule. Now what is this n plus L rule is there? Higher the value of n plus L, higher will be the energy of that orbit. Means we had seen that higher the value of n, the higher the energy of the orbit. In case of a hydrogen atom we had seen, so because energy goes on decreasing towards the positive side, so it is minus 13.6 divided by n square. So n increases, 1 upon n square decreases, but that is a minus sign, so it goes towards the 0. So with value of n and L, the energy of the orbit goes on increasing. So electron which is away from the nucleus, it will have higher energy as compared to the electron which is closer to the nucleus. Okay, if two orbitals will have same value of n plus L, if two orbitals will have same value of n plus L, then orbital with lower n value, the orbital with lower n value will have the lower energy. Okay, so if the addition of principal quantum number and the orbital quantum number for a given orbital, it is coming out to be equal, or if it is coming out to be same, then the orbital which will have lower value of n will be the lower in energy. so that electron will occupy position in that orbit first, and then it will move to the next orbit. Now, what is the order in which this energy increases? If you consider the orbit in which the energy is increased, it is given in this way. First electron will go to the 1s orbital, then 2s orbital, then 2p orbital, then 3s, 3p, 4s, 3d, 4p, 5s, and so on. In this way, the energy of the orbitals will go on increasing. For representation purpose, you can consider this picture over there. It is 1s orbital, then second subshell have 2s, 2p orbital, third shell has 3s, 3p, and 3d orbital, fourth subshell has 4s, 4p, 4d, and 4f orbital. Similarly, fifth shell, that is n equal to 5, it will have 5s, 5p, 5d, 5f, 5g will be there. I have not shown it over here, but it will have one more orbital, that is 5g. Similarly, 6 orbital you can calculate in this fashion. Okay, so now how the energy of this orbital will increase? So it will be the first 1s orbital, 2s, 2p, 3s. In this way, the energy of the orbital will go on increasing. Okay, the pictorially you can remember this with the help of this type of curved lines. So it is 1s, 2s, 2p, 3s, 3p, then 4s, then 3d, then 4p, then 5s. Here you have to remember is that first the picture in which the energy it will be filled, it will be like this. Okay, it will be like this. Okay, after 3s it will be 3p in which the electron goes, 3p after that 4s, after 4s it will be 3d. In this fashion the electrons goes inside the orbitals. Okay, so this picture you have to remember, it is the order in which the electrons are filled in the orbitals of the atom. Now next rule which is important, that is Pauli's exclusion principle. What is Pauli's exclusion principle? Tells us that no two electrons in an atom will have same set of quantum numbers. Means if you consider any two electrons, they will not have all the 4 quantum numbers same. At least one quantum number has to be different in gauge. In each of the electron, at least one of the quantum number has to be different. Okay, it will have same n, l, ml value, but yes, ms has to be different. Okay, so that you have to remember. Now what does this rule states? That every electron has to be in its unique singlet state. It has to be in its unique singlet state. It means that a single orbital can have maximum 2 electrons, because for a given orbital it is the spin quantum number which can have 2 different values, that is plus up and the minus up. Now let us consider over here 2 electrons present in the same orbital must have opposite spin, or their spin has to be antiparallel. Here you can see that the electrons which are occupied in a same orbital, they will have different spin orientation. Okay, one is rotating in a clockwise direction, another is rotating in a anti-clockwise direction. For example, let us consider an example of an helium. We know that in case of an helium atom, atomic number of helium it is 2. Okay, atomic number of helium it is 2. So in case of an helium, 2 electrons will be there, and these 2 electrons it will be occupied in a 1s2 orbital. But these 1s2 orbital, they must have 2 different opposite spin. Then and only then this electron configuration it will be same. This will be valid. If you give this electron configuration in this fashion, in which case both the electrons will have up spin, then that is not true, because it violates the Pauli's exclusion principle. Because for the first electron, n is equal to 1, l is equal to 0, ml equal to 0, and ms equal to plus up, and the same is the state for the second electron as well. So both these electrons will have all the 4 quantum numbers same, which is not possible with from the Pauli's exclusion principle. So this you have to remember. Now next consider in case of a lithium atom. In lithium atom, the two electrons, it will be, one will be up spin, second will be down spin, and the third electron, it will go in the singlet state like this. But this, if I write down the 1s2 configuration in this fashion, then this is not correct. This is actually wrong. If you write it in this fashion, then this is wrong, and this is also wrong. So two electrons, whenever they are in the same orbital, they must have anti-parallel spin to each other. Then and only then their quantum state will be unique. In this case, first electron and second electron, they are having same set of quantum numbers. All four quantum numbers are same. Now next we will consider, that is Hund's rule. What is Hund's rule is? Hund's rule, it is nothing but it is the rule which is applicable how electrons are arranged. We know now that Apovo principle tells us that lowest energy orbitals gets filled first, and next, as energy increases, the electron goes in higher and higher orbitals. Okay. Now after lower energy orbitals are filled, electron move to the higher energy levels or higher energy orbitals. The problem with this Apovo principle is that it does not tells in which p orbital, because we had seen for a p orbital there are three suborbitals are there. For example, px, py and pz, three suborbitals are there. Or in d orbital you have a 5 suborbitals, that is dxy, dyz, dxz, then dx square minus y square and dz r square minus z square. These are the 4 different orbitals are there. This Apovo principle does not tell us that in which orbital this coming electron will go. Now we have to calculate, we have to decide how this electron goes in that one. For this purpose, Hund's rule is applicable. Hund's rule is applied to electron in a given atom. It affirms that electron will occupy the orbital in such a way that the ground state is characterized by the 4 different characteristics. What are those characteristics? Now we will discuss that. The first characteristic is that it will have a maximum spin. Okay, the state, it will have a maximum spin and it will have maximum orbital angular momentum. So these two first conditions are very important, that it will have maximum value of the s. Their spin has to be maximum and it will have a maximum value of L, that is the spin angular momentum has to be maximum and orbital angular momentum has to be maximum. Now the third rule tells us that the total angular momentum, which is nothing but the vector addition of the spin angular momentum and the orbital angular momentum, is equal to L minus S, is equal to L minus S, and it is equal to L plus S when this is possible, because these are the vector when to take addition and when to take subtraction. If the shell is less than half filled, if the shell is less than half filled, then you can take L minus 1 as a total angular momentum, and if shell is more than half filled, then total angular momentum it will be L plus S. So here you have to remember that if shell is less than half filled, then it will be L minus S. Okay, if shell is more than half filled, then it will be L plus S. For example, if you consider the p orbital, for p orbital 6 electrons can be accommodated. If p orbital have a 2 electrons, then it is less than the 50% capacity of the p orbital, because as p orbital has a 6 electrons, its 50% capacity is 3 electrons. So less than 50%, that is less than 3. So in that case, your total angular momentum it will be L minus S. If it is having a 4 electrons, then it will be L plus S. That is there. Now what is the condition if you have a exactly half filled? Because if you have a exactly half filled state, then in that case the total angular momentum it will be L equal to 0, because minus L2 plus L, if you add all these numbers it will give you 0 number. So in that case L will be 0. So in that case your total angular momentum it will be nothing but, and J is equal to S. Now application of Hund's rule. Now it is very important. Sometimes a question will be asked in the competitive exam, such as state eligibility test, which is conducted for the post of assistant professor. In this one you will get some state, for example Mn3 plus it will be given, and you will be asked to calculate the ground state term symbol for the Mn3 plus, and its electron configuration it will be given. Now remember how to determine the ground state of such. For that you should be able to use the Hund's rule very properly, or very carefully you need to apply the Hund's rule. So here we will consider some of the examples. The first example is here. In this case you can consider the atom has 7 electrons. Atom has 7 electrons. It is a nitrogen example which has an atomic number 7. So for a nitrogen atom, 7 electrons, the first 2 electrons it will go into the 1s orbital, which will have up spin. First electron will have up spin, second electron will have down spin. Next electron, 2 electrons, it will go to the 2s state, which will be, one will be up spin, next will be down spin. Now in order to have a maximum spin, if you consider in case of a 2s system, 2p orbital, these first electron, second electron and third electron, it will try to stay away from each other and they will have a same spin orientation. Why is it so? Because if you take an addition of the spin angular momentum of all these electrons, it will be 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2, it will be 3/2. So its total spin in this case it will be 3/2. Now if you consider the same case here, in this case the first electron is down spin, the next 2 electrons it will be up spin. Now if you calculate the total spin angular momentum, these 2 electrons they will cancel each other's spin angular momentum. So in this case you will get only S is equal to 1/2 due to the last electron only. So application of the first rule, that it says that the maximum value of S has to be possible, then in that case we can say that the electron configuration which is given in the case A it is correct, the electron configuration given in the case C it is wrong. Now if you consider the same for the case B, you can consider over here the first 2 electrons going in the 1s orbital, next 2 electrons are going in the 2s orbital, and last 2 electrons are going in the 2p orbital. Now if you consider the electron configuration, in this case both the electrons in the 2px orbital. Now if you consider the total value of S in this case, then the total value of this it is coming out to be 0, which is not true. So this electron configuration from the Hund's rule it is not correct. Okay, so it will not have a S maximum, so it will be not possible. So instead of that, electron will try to go in the next 2p orbital, that is 2py. Same is the case you can consider over here. Here in this case 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1, that is total 9 electrons will be there. So in this case the first 2 electrons are having same spin configuration, next 2 electrons are also having same spin electron configuration, which is violating the Pauli's exclusion principle, because no 2 electrons in a given atom can have the same state of quantum numbers. In the first and second case, that is 2px and 2py orbital, they are having the same set of quantum numbers respectively. So they will not, this configuration which is given over here, that is not true from the Hund's rule and the Pauli's exclusion principle. The last example we will consider over here, that is in this case, if you consider this is okay from the Hund's rule, this is also okay from the Hund's rule, and this is also okay from the Hund's rule. So if you consider this one, so last case it is also okay as far as if you consider the Pauli's exclusion principle and the Hund's rule. Okay, so in this all 5 examples, it is only the configuration A and E which are correct. Okay, so that is an application of Hund's rule and the Pauli's exclusion principle. Now we will try to calculate the electron configuration of an various elements or various atoms with the help of the rules which we have just studied. Okay, so these electron configuration will write up to the few elements with the help of Hund's rule, Apopo principle and the Pauli's exclusion principle. So now consider the first one, that is the hydrogen, which will have 1s1, that is the electron which will be in the first orbit, then helium, lithium, then beryllium, then boron, carbon, then nitrogen, then oxygen, then fluorine, then neon, then sodium, then magnesium, then aluminum it will be there. In this way you can go up to chlorine, argon, potassium, calcium. Okay, so these you have to work out how the electrons are actually going into the higher energy orbital. So it will be first one is 1s, then 2s, then 2p, then 3s, 3p, 4s, 3d and 4p. This one you can see with the help of this animation over here. For the sodium, 3s electron it will be in the, for silicon it will be the having 14 atomic number, phosphorus, and so this is an animation which you can see in this one. Thank you students, that's it for the today's session. I hope you have enjoyed the today's session. The idea of Apovo principle, Pauli's exclusion principle, Hund's rule, and how these different types of rules are applied to write the electron configuration of an given elements that we have studied. I would like to request all you people to please like the video and comment in the comment section of this video if you have any doubts. If you have not subscribed to our channel, I request you to please subscribe our channel Basics of Physics by Professor Ravi Kiran Lande. Today we'll stop here for the today's session. Thank you so much.